life in the dorms, but which one is NIU's worst? The devastating earthquake in Nepal hits home for some here at NIU, and games and costumes take over the Student Center at Karoshi-Con. NTC News Tonight starts right now.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
Whether it's the false accusation at the University of Virginia or the Duke lacrosse incident, crime on college campuses is all too common. Good evening, I'm Ryan Mack.
And I'm Emily Neely. There are many places on NIU's campus that deal with crime. NTC reporter Dan Kenny went through 4 years of data to analyze where the worst places on campus are.
I didn't hear anybody walk into the shower area, and then I just felt like rustling, like the shower curtain moving back and forth. And then I looked and I seen a hand, and then the shower curtain just yanked back. I didn't see his face, I just saw the ski mask. I was scared, like I was literally scared for my life.
This is the voice of Whitney Kane, an NIU freshman who was taking a shower when a masked man attempted to assault her earlier this year. The masked man fled the scene as soon as Whitney began to scream. The man turned out to be someone she let on her floor earlier that night, someone she once called her friend.
No, I've never felt uncomfortable around him. Like, he was somebody that I could always go to and joke around with.
Both Whitney and the student who's been charged in the case live in Neptune Hall. Neptune is the oldest residence hall on campus and has an atmosphere that Whitney described as being similar to a prison.
The girls, it's some girls that stays on this side, and they've already threatened to jump me 3 times already. And every time I walk past them, they're always saying things like, oh, I just want to hit her in the face, or I just want to fight her. The badder you are, the cooler you are. So the more bash you can do, people will talk about, they'll be like, oh yeah, he was the one who did that. And they'll be like, oh man, well, I wanna be his friend.
We discovered Whitney's is not an isolated case. Every day the NIU Police Department generates a report that is often called a daily blotter that shows every incident that they respond to on campus. We looked at 4 years of data, nearly 6,000 filed incident reports, everything from serious assaults down to petty theft. We looked at all major dorms such as Stevenson, Neptune, Grant, Newhall. We looked at alternative housing communities such as Northern View. We even looked at crime outside of the residence halls such as the campus recreation center. But when it comes to physical assaults and related incidents, we found that Neptune Hall is the worst residence hall on campus. Neptune Hall actually holds the highest amount of assault, battery, criminal sexual assault, domestic battery, and harassment more than any other dorm on campus. And in terms of assault, criminal sexual assault, and harassment, they have more than any other dorm on campus combined. When we looked at the entire campus, there's only one area that has had more domestic violence incidents than Neptune. This is Northern View, an alternative place to live outside of the traditional residence halls, and is intended for older students and families. NIU Police Chief Tom Phillips has a rather simple theory why domestic violence numbers are so high in Northern View.
So just the fact that Northern View houses people that are in relationships tend to have more domestic related incidents.
It seems that population and demographics play a huge role in crime.
Residence halls, for example, that have more people in it probably are going to have more incidents. Residence halls that have freshmen typically have more incidents than graduate students. And there's various reasonings behind that. I think age, maturity level.
The figures just don't support that when it comes to Neptune Hall. It's not simply a matter of where the most people live. Neptune houses a few hundred students fewer than Stevenson. But when it comes to trouble, the amount of reported incidents are nearly the same.
Yeah, Neptune does seem to be I'd say the worst storm. So, just out of my perspective.
NIU police don't find themselves exclusively patrolling the dorms. Welcome to the Campus Recreation Center.
So I was playing basketball at the rec center, and my phone was laying on the side of the basketball courts, and after the game was over, it was gone.
We'll tell you about that and more in our next report. In DeKalb, NTC News, Dan Kenny.
Great work by Dan to get us all of that information.
Make sure you tune in to Wednesday's broadcast for part 2 of his story, where he digs even deeper into campus crime.
An NIU professor is among the millions devastated by a major earthquake that shook the remote nation of Nepal. Mark Rosenbaum is a professor from the NIU College of Business. He's been lecturing at Kathmandu University in Nepal on a Fulbright scholarship since January. Rosenbaum has told officials he's okay, but that his apartment in Kathmandu is heavily damaged. It is still unclear how serious the damage is at the university itself.
He's waiting to hear from the State Department and the Fulbright Association to determine if they're going to be evacuated or if they're going to continue teaching class over there at that university. Classes end, I believe, the first week in June. Now, there was some damage to the buildings on campus, but not as severe as the heart of the city.
NTC has confirmed that 14 international students at NIU are from Nepal. The International Student Office says they have reached out to all of those students. One student has reported back that their family members are all right, but no word from the others. The Counseling and Student Development Center has also offered their services to the students.
And we are so grateful to have heard back from them that they've heard all their families are safe, which is wonderful news because there's so many people have been killed. I was certain that one of our students might have lost family or one or more, and this is really wonderful news. So
we'll have more on that situation in Nepal later. Here on campus, it looks like a plea deal has been worked out by Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity members charged in the death of David Bogenberger. Bogenberger died of alcohol poisoning during a pledge initiation. The family's attorney says fraternity members will not face jail time when the case goes back to court next month.
Batavia fire officials say firefighters say they are still investigating what caused a fire at Candle Corporation of America over the weekend. Authorities say the fire caused a partial roof collapse.
Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan is continuing a tour to promote sex assault prevention on college campuses. Madigan is at Southern Illinois University Edwardsville today, backing a proposal called the Preventing Sexual Violence in Higher Education Act. Costumes, video games, and cartoons can be leisurely activities for some.
But this year's 5th annual Karoshi-Con, hosted by NIU's Anime Club, shows how serious some people can take it. Somebody just won big in this tournament. Cheering like this is heard throughout the day at this year's 5th annual Karoshi-Con. Hundreds of people attend the event to play their favorite games or to dress up for the cosplay contest. Many anime lookalikes take a pose for the camera. The vendor at this table is renting games, and these two students are running all of the tournaments. And director Jasmine Cannon says Karoshi-Con is comparable to bigger conventions.
World, if you go to any of those big conventions, it's similar to that, only it's more close.
In here, there's a reason so many people are staying put. And games are everywhere. From Mortal Kombat on Nintendo 64 to Guitar Hero for PlayStation 3, everyone seems to be holding a controller. But are video games the only thing that brought so many people to this convention? Students of the Anime Association think there's a bigger reason.
So being a free convention, that's something that's very ideal for people, especially in the middle of the school year.
With 3 separate rooms of activities, it's easy to get wrapped up in everything going on. From twirling lights at one spot to a poster wall at another, for Karoshi-Con merchants, it's anime galore. Towards the end of the convention, a cosplay contest took place, and several people got to act as their favorite anime character. Some even got to showcase their unique talents. Events like this are the exact reason Jasmine Cannon wants to be here.
I'm just happy that we're expanding and we're getting this popular, and I'm going to really miss it when I do leave.
That was definitely a culture shock for me to take in.
Well, we've seen plenty of days with those dreaded April showers in the past few weeks.
Emery Dhanens is here with us now. Can we see a clear week for once, Emery?
Yes, we actually might stay dry for the rest of this week until this weekend where we do have a chance for some rain. And if you thought today was nice, just wait till what we have in store. Tomorrow we will see sunny skies across the northern part of Illinois, along with temperatures in the 60s. To hear more about the warmer weather to come, stay with us. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying the beautiful sunshine we've seen today. Much better than this time last week where we had those clouds. We were only in the 50s and we had those high winds. So we are starting to get near our normal for this time of the year. High of about 62 degrees out there. Felt wonderful. And if you're outside at all today, you saw some scattered clouds, but overall it was very sunny. It felt great out there. Now, the reason we've been seeing these clear skies is because there's a high pressure area in our region, and luckily we're not down in Texas and Oklahoma. Yesterday they had some severe weather associated with large hail, and today they're still seeing rain and some thunderstorms. And going into tonight, for us, that high pressure system will move towards our area, bringing clear skies for tonight. And as we go into Tuesday, we will see that high move off a little bit, and there is this cold front up here to the north of us. However, it won't affect us because as we move into Tuesday night, it'll stay to the north of us. And then Tuesday night going into Wednesday, this next high pressure system will kind of come a little towards our area, and we'll see more clear skies. So no low pressures in our area. We won't have all those clouds and rain like we're used to. So taking it back to tonight, we'll see mostly clear conditions, an overnight low of about 33 degrees. And since we are near freezing, we do have another chance of frost, and those winds from the northeast 5 to 15 miles per hour will be decreasing as the night goes on. And then for Tuesday, like we said, nice sunny clear skies with a high of about 63 degrees. Again, light winds, only 5 miles per hour. So with that sunshine and those light winds, Tuesday should be a beautiful day. And then for Tuesday night, partly cloudy conditions, an overnight low of 38. It's nice we're getting a little bit higher on our overnight lows, and we will have those winds out of the northeast becoming calm as the evening progresses. And then let's take a look at our 5-day weather forecast. It looks beautiful. Again, on Tuesday, sunny conditions, high about 63. Then Wednesday and Thursday, we do have highs in the mid-60s, partly sunny conditions, and overnight those lows are getting back into the 40s, which is what we like to see. Then going into the weekend, highs possibly near 70 as we get into Saturday, and we do have that chance of rain Friday and Saturday. But that's all for weather, so let's send it back to the desk.
Man's best friend can look more like man's nicest accessory.
Reporter TJ Hopkins shows how dog owners spare no expense at the Kennel Club of Yorkville's 59th annual dog show.
This is TJ Hopkins reporting from the NIU Convocation Center, where the Kennel Club of Yorkville is hosting its 59th annual dog show. Dog lovers from all over come to watch, sit back, and enjoy this showcase of different dogs. And I mean, there is a wide variety of dogs. There are 800 dogs being showcased over the course of 2 days. Dogs coming in all shapes and colors, ranging from Great Danes to Golden Retrievers to Standard Poodles. These dogs are shown off to the judges, and each breed is critiqued.
And every breed has a breed standard. And the standard can be found on akc.org for every breed that is registered by the American Kennel Club. The judges are judging the dogs in conformation according to the breed standard.
Breed standard is what the dogs are judged by. This means the dog's hair has to be a certain length, a certain color, and even their heads have to be a certain size. Some owners spend an unbelievable amount of money just to get their dogs ready for the show.
We campaigned Bosaran last year, and we easily spent $20,000.
One thing I learned about the dog show is that anyone can win. Take 10-year-old Jacob Waters, for instance. He and his miniature pinscher, Glory, won Best Junior.
I just feel like shocked and I don't really, it's not usual for open juniors to win Best Junior, so.
Although this is a hobby for some, it still doesn't justify the amount of love each and every one of these dog owners have for their dogs. For NTC News, I'm TJ Hopkins.
Coming up, what are these NIU students doing with Jay Leno in his personal garage? We'll explain. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
One of the biggest factors in buying a car these days is gas mileage.
But one team at NIU is ahead of the game in that area. The Super-Mileage team created the Husky Rocket, a car designed for the Shell Eco Marathon competition earlier this month. They made tweaks to their car's engine and carbon fiber body in hopes of getting the most miles per gallon of gas. They made enough progress and with the help of a letter submission, got to travel to Los Angeles to shoot this commercial with one famous car collector.
Is this the Eco Marathon car you guys built? Yeah. How many miles per gallon does this get?
1,359.
Oh, well, that's pretty good, I guess.
Super-Mileage team president Lindsay Dotis joins us now. So we know you competed in Detroit, but what I really want to know is, what was Jay Leno's garage like?
Oh, it was amazing. He has over 169 cars there and over 100 motorcycles that we got to look around and check out the whole time. It was really cool.
And we're looking at these right now. They look incredible.
Lindsay, we're all really fascinated by your work. What could this mean for the future of fuel mileage in cars?
Well, these cars that we build aren't street legal, but a lot of the things that we do to these cars can be transferred into real vehicles that you see on the street, such as aerodynamics and the way you tune the engine and how lightweight the car is. It all affects fuel mileage.
So are there any other forms of energy that you guys have considered trying to put in a vehicle?
Oh yeah, for the Shell Eco Marathon, they actually have several different classes. They have diesel, ethanol, hybrid, full electric, and they started a new class this year for natural gas. Because we run two different competitions, our second competition requires gasoline, so we just do gasoline for both, but we have considered building a second car for an alternative fuel.
So, Lindsay, does any car in America really have this carbon fiber?
Yeah, a lot of race cars use carbon fiber. It's really lightweight.
Interesting.
It's really expensive though.
What about cars you'd see just on the street driving around?
Not so much. Because of the cost mostly.
So you guys are way ahead of the game then?
I guess so.
Well, Lindsay, what's next for the Super-Mileage team then?
Well, in June, beginning of June, we have our second competition, which is in Marshall, Michigan, for the Society of Automotive Engineers.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Well, Lindsay, all the research your team has done up to this point is really eye-opening, and I can't wait for my car to get 1,000 miles to the gallon. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you.
More updates from the earthquake in Nepal.
And a dispute over mental health in the Aurora, Colorado shooting trial. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch.
The number of people dead in Nepal has now reached 4,000. Saturday's 7.8 magnitude earthquake was followed by a series of strong aftershocks. Rescuers are desperately searching for survivors. Food and water are running low, modern medical care is scarce, and many people are without shelter.
Opening statements were made today in the trial of movie theater massacre suspect James Holmes. He is facing 165 counts for a shooting rampage that killed 12 people and wounded 70 more in Aurora, Colorado. Holmes has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, but prosecutors argue he was sane and are pushing for the death penalty.
The family of Freddie Gray calls for calm as they prepare to say a final goodbye. Gray was laid to rest in Baltimore today. Gray died in police custody earlier this month after suffering a severe spinal injury. His family claims his voice box had been crushed and his neck snapped. Hundreds turned out yesterday to pay their respects at his wake.
After 5 months of waiting, Loretta Lynch will be sworn in as Attorney General today. The U.S. Senate finally confirmed her last week in a 56-43 vote. Lynch is the first African-American woman to be Attorney General. And that's today's World Watch.
The semester is winding down, but the highlights keep on coming. Good evening and welcome to NTC Sports. I am your host, Dan Kenny. Major League Baseball has just finished its third week of the season, but on the university diamond, college baseball is already 3 months deep. NIU looks to keep its tournament hopes alive. For a look at the NIU baseball team, here's NTC reporter Matt Carlson.
Conference play is more than halfway over for the NIU Huskies, and the team currently sits in last place in the Mack West with a conference record of 5-10. The top 4 from each side of the conference make the Mack tournament, and the Huskies currently sit a game out of 4th place.
Yeah, you know, the goals never change. It's to win the Mack and to be in regionals, and that goal is never going to change. You know, so that's what we're working at right now is to go out and win the Mack and, you know, get into the Mack tournament and be playing in regionals and playing for in the national tournament.
One of the bright spots this season has been pitcher Ben Newman. Last year as reliever, Newman pitched his 29 innings. This season, Newman is a team leader with 62 innings pitched and also with 43 strikeouts. There have been many factors that have led to his success so far this season.
Just throwing more strikes more often, quality pitches down in the zone, stuff like that, throwing off speed for strikes.
The Huskies still have 12 conference games left in the season, and if they reach their goal of playing the Mack tournament, that'll be May 20th through the 24th in Ohio. At Ralph McKenzie Field, for NTC News, I'm Matt Carlson.
The Huskies look to finish strong tomorrow as they take on UIC. First pitch will begin at 6. The Chicago Bulls held a 3-0 series lead and looked to bury the pesky Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday night. Spoiler alert, the game came down to the final shot. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's just see how the game played out. Bulls fans sure can travel well, but it was the Bucks who held a substantial lead in the first half. But the Bulls and Jimmy Butler cut into that deficit as you see Butler nail that buzzer beater. Butler went full Super Saiyan as he hits this fading three-pointer. He finished the game with 33 points. Under 2 minutes left, OJ easy on the Mayo makes this shot look awfully easy. The game's knotted up at 90 with about a second remaining. Derrick Rose turned the ball over last possession, and now D. Rose decides to take a nap on defense as Jared Bayless makes him pay. Milwaukee goes buck wild as they beat the Bulls. Similar to the Bulls, the Blackhawks look to close out the series at the United Center. Let's see if they can put down the Predators. Nashville is already up 1-0, and they look to take advantage of this power play as Mike Neal redirects the puck and sneaks it by Scott Darling. Don't blink, Chicago wins the faceoff yet again, and Patrick Kane fires the missile into the back of the goal. Actually, that's happening right here. You just saw Jonathan Taves redirect the puck. Now there's Kane whipping the slapper. Chicago is riding this momentum, and Duncan Keith controls the puck at the top of the ice. Where am I going with it as he fakes 2 shots before he launches the puck past Pekka Rinne for the game winner. Blackhawks will face the Minnesota Wild for the 3rd straight year. There has been no love lost between the White Sox and the Kansas City Royals. This game had 2 spectacular plays, but only one can be today's play of the day. Sox infielder Micah Johnson sends this Edison Volquez pitch into what seems destined for the left field bleachers.
It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Alex Gordon going Superman into the stands. He not only caught the ball, but he also leveled a White Sox fan. Alex Gordon takes the play of the day, but the White Sox get the win. That is all the time we have for sports. I wish everyone the best of luck on finals week, which is next week. But don't overwhelm yourself. If you can, take a break, catch a baseball game. The Huskies play 5 out of the next 6 days. So long, everyone, and take care.
Coming up, when you hear bourbon, you think of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Maple Park, Illinois? We'll explain next.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
French fries. Finding best potatoes.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Bowl.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
The farms around DeKalb may look the same, but one farm has decided to turn thousands of acres of corn to even more bottles of whiskey and bourbon.
NTC reporter Amber Luckett has more on why so many people are loving these craft luxuries and what makes their drink so different from the rest.
Those barrels will age anywhere from 18 months up to 5 to 6 years.
Barrels of aging bourbon and containers of whiskey cover the floors of the Whiskey Acres Distilling Company, just waiting to be bottled and sold. Whiskey Acres is located on the farm of co-owners Jim and Jamie Walter, where their family has been farming since the 1930s. They are also the only estate distillery in Illinois and the second in the country.
It's the fact that we're growing all of our grain, our wheat, rye, and corn are all grown right outside this building here. We harvest all those grains and take them into a building next door where we clean them, mill them, and then bring them in here into the distillery.
After releasing their first batch of whiskey in January to local stores like Lundine's and the Hy-Vee, everything was sold out within the first day. Now their products can not only be seen in the stores, but on the shelves of restaurants and bars in the area.
When I'm standing with somebody and they taste it, you never know if you're getting an honest opinion. But when your product sells out and repeatedly sells out, it's very affirming that you've got a good product and people like it.
Because making whiskey and bourbon is such a unique and tedious process to complete, a lot of people have really grown to appreciate these two drinks. In fact, the U.S. Distilled Spirits Council says that sales of these two spirits are up by 40% because more and more people are enjoying the unique taste of bourbon.
Can't just make more. There's a lot of laws and a lot of restrictions, and it has to be aged for a certain amount of time, and it has to be made a certain way. And when you get a run on bourbon, it's 2 years before you have more or 4 years before you have more.
Whiskey Acres is also working on a vodka that will exclusively be available in their cocktail room. And although Whiskey Acres is new to this business, it seems as if they are successfully creating a craft luxury that will hopefully remain timeless. This is Amber Luckett, DeKalb, NTC News.
I need to give Amber a call and see if she has any free samples I can steal.
Yeah, next time I'm out to eat, I'm definitely going to look for the Whiskey Acres bottle and have a taste of it.
NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University. We want to thank you all for being with us.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll be back this same time on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye, everyone.